Now these amazing, well-preserved 1st century remains of a Roman city is Viroconium Cornoviorum, I think, and they're complete with baths, forum and reconstructed townhouse. Today it's called Wroxeter, and it was the fourth largest city in Roman Britain, and this importance is reflected in the remains of the city. And the site was lost for many centuries, but it was rediscovered in the Victorian period. And there was so much interest in the subsequent excavation of Wroxeter that the landowner donated the site to the public, making it one of the very first archaeological sites in Britain to become a tourist attraction, regularly open to visitors. It began as a legionary fort, and a settlement grew up around the fort and became a thriving city of great importance, numbering in excess of 5,000 inhabitants at its height. Now, I think most of the population that swelled the new city was from the ranks of retired legionnaires and tradesmen, and it grew to cover 73 hectares, and it was a tribal capital of the Cornovi. The civic area was some of the largest in Britain, with the bath and forum occupying 2 entire city blocks. You can see from the small amount of remains how big it must have been in the day. Now, people think after the Roman influence waned around the 4th century, the site became the headquarters of a British or Irish chieftain, which leads to an interesting theory. Now, unlike I've said many other Roman cities, Wroxeter was not developed as a Saxon or medieval centre. The result is we can easily see the Roman layout of the city. And aerial photographs have revealed the existence of a Romano-British temple. Viroconium may have been the capital of an early Dark Age powis, now in Shropshire. Now, as I said earlier, when the Romans left Britain in AD 410, most Roman towns were abandoned, but Viroconium continued to be occupied. The likes of London, Lincoln and York in the east of the country were quickly overrun by the invading Anglo-Saxons. But with Viroconium being in the centre of the country, it remained free and effectively became one of the most important cities in early Dark Age Britain. And more recent archaeological excavations have revealed that, unlike most other Roman towns as have been mentioned, which had been abandoned, usually for more easily defended hilltop fortifications, the city was still a thriving walled town for well over a century after the Romans left. And these archaeological excavations revealed that there was a major rebuild of the city around AD 500. And the nerve centre of the city was a massive wing building that appears to have been a palace of an extremely important warlord. And this building work seems to have been taking place at the end of the 5th and beginning of the 6th centuries, and it may well have been the seat of power of the chieftain who led the Britons at the time. Arth is said to have lived there. Now, the stories and legends of King Arthur say that he had been the most powerful British leader and ruled from the most important British city around the year 500. And historically, Viroconium had been the most important British city at that time. In other words, from the archaeological perspective, Viroconium was the most likely capital of a historical King Arthur. His Camelot, basically. Very intriguing theory, and I quite believe it. I like the idea of it. Let me know what you think.